Sexual reproduction in plants. Sexual reproduction is the most common method of reproduction in plants. In this process, two parents, one male and the other female, are required. Each parent produces reproductive cells or gametes. The male parent produces the male gamete, pollen grain, and the female parent produces female gamete, egg or ovum. When male and female cells fuse together, they form another cell called zygote. The zygote is the first cell of the new organism. It undergoes cell division and forms the new individual. Seed formation. The stamens, petals and sepals fade away and fall down. When the zygote is formed, the style and stigma also fall off, but the ovary remains intact. The zygote within the ovule divides several times to form an embryo. The walls of the ovules develop hard layers and form seeds.
Need of minerals for plants. Minerals are required by plants for various reasons. Magnesium is essential for synthesis of chlorophyll. Zinc, essential for leaf formation. Calcium maintains semi-permeability of cell membrane. Potassium controls opening and closing of stomata. Phosphorus, it is the constituent of cell membrane. Manganese is necessary for photolysis of water in photosynthesis. Absorption of minerals. Minerals are absorbed from the soil by the roots of the plants as salts, like nitrates, phosphates, sulfates, etc., and others simply as ions, like potassium, calcium, magnesium, chlorine, etc. The mineral elements or salts are absorbed from the soil along with water by the roots of a plant. Mineral absorption by the plants is of two types: passive mineral absorption and active mineral absorption. Passive mineral absorption. It is a physical process which do not involve any expenditure of metabolic energy. It takes place by the following methods. Diffusion. It is the movement of minerals from the higher concentration to lower concentration through ion channels in cell membrane. Mass flow. During rapid absorption of water, minerals are swept into the roots. Ionic exchange. Exchange of ions between the roots and external media. Positively charged ions or cations are exchanged with H-positive ions, while negatively charged ions or anions are exchanged with OH or HCO- 3 ions. Carbon dioxide produced in respiration dissolves in water to form carbonic acid. Carbonic acid dissociates into hydrogen, that is H-positive, and bicarbonate, that is HCO- 3 ions. Contact exchange. Certain ions absorbed over the surface of roots can directly get exchanged with similarly charged ions present over the surface of soil particles if their oscillation volumes overlap. Active mineral absorption. It occurs against the concentration of gradient by the utilization of metabolic energy through the specific carriers present in the cell membrane of absorbing cells. Absorption of water by plants. Roots are the water-absorbing organs of terrestrial plants. The root hairs present on the root make a contact with soil particles and absorb water from the soil. Root hairs increase the water-absorbing surface area of the roots. Most of the water enters the plant through root hairs by the process of absorption. Water moves inside the root cells as root cells have a higher concentration of salts as compared to soil particles. Osmosis occurs and outside water moves inside the root cells. It continues to pass to the adjoining cells one after the other and finally enter the xylem vessels. The force of absorption of water is generated in shoots. The leaves lose water by transpiration. Due to transpiration, a suction force, that is, transpiration pull, is created. It moves the water upwards in the stem. The stem supplies water to the leaves from where it evaporates and the process continues. Water absorbing system. Plants have the potentiality to absorb water through their entire surface. However, underground root system is specialized to absorb water in the soil because of the following reasons. Extensive root system with rapid growth. Roots have extensive root system which grow rapidly in soil. Enormous surface area. The extensive root system naturally has tremendous surface area for the absorption of water. High concentrated solution. The root hair cells have high concentrated cell sap. It has a higher solute concentration than the surrounding soil water. This character is an important requirement to draw in water from outside by a process called osmosis. Thin wall of root hairs. In roots, the most efficient region of water absorption is the root hair zone. Root hair zone has numerous root hairs. Root hairs are specialized for water absorption. The walls of root hair are very thin and permeable. Modes of absorption and conduction of water and minerals. The absorption of minerals and water from the soil by the roots and their transport and exchange between the adjoining cells involve many processes such as imbibition, diffusion, osmosis, turgidity, plasmolysis, and deplasmolysis, passive transport, and active transport. Imbibition. The absorption of water by the solid particles of a substance in their dry or semi-dry state without forming a solution is called imbibition. The liquid which is imbibed is called imbibate. The solid substances which take part in imbibition are called imbibients. Imbibition increases the volume of imbibant. It develops a pressure called imbibition pressure. Jamming of wooden doors and windows in rainy season. Dry seeds when soaked in water swell up and their seed coat bursts. Significance of imbibition in plants. Imbibition of water by the seeds help them to germinate by breaking the seed coats. It helps in the absorption of water by the roots of a plant in the initial stage. Imbibition also helps in the movement of water from cell to cell in the plant body. Imbibition pressure helps in the ascent of sap, that is, upward movement of water and dissolved minerals. Diffusion. The movement of molecules of various substances from the region of their higher concentration to the region of their lower concentration. It is called diffusion. Importance of diffusion in plants. Loss of water vapors through stomata take place by diffusion. In the exchange of gases during respiration and photosynthesis, diffusion takes place. Diffusion spreads molecules and ions throughout the protoplasm of a cell. During passive salt uptake, ions are absorbed by the simple process of diffusion. Diffusion keeps the wall of the internal tissue of the plants moist. Within cells, substances generally move by diffusion. Factors influencing diffusion. Increase in number of particles increases rate of diffusion. More density, less diffusion. Increase in temperature increases the rate of diffusion. Greater pressure increases the rate of diffusion. Types of membranes. Permeable membranes. Membranes which allow the diffusion of both solute and solvent molecules through them. For example, cell wall, muslin cloth. Impermeable membranes. Membranes which do not allow the diffusion of either solvent or solute molecules through them. For example, rubber sheet or a cork. Semipermeable membranes. Membranes which allow the diffusion of solvent molecules through them, but resist the movement of solute molecules. For example, parchment paper, sheep or goat bladder, cellophane paper, egg membrane, whisking bag, etc. Differentially permeable or selectively permeable membranes. Membranes which allow the useful substances to diffuse in and harmful substances to diffuse out of the cell. For example, cell membranes.